There will come a day when the next part of the service will be totally unnecessary. We will have come to a place where we have integrated every one of these spiritual principles into our lives. We will all sit around like this with this wonderful, dumb-looking grin on our face, just appreciating how beautiful and graceful our lives are, and we will need no instruction and appreciation anymore. You do understand that my only barometer for that, the only way I can measure that particular phenomenon, is with my own situation, my personal situation. Trust me, I could still use a little advice now and then. So let us share something this morning. It's about a phenomena, a syndrome that I bump into a lot in my own spiritual quest and in the quest of a lot of the people that I hang out with, including you. It took me a long time to finally get around to seeing with some degree of clarity that, like many of my fellow travelers on this journey of awakening, I had bought pretty heavily into the notion that waking up brings with it a responsibility to always be high. Above it all. Ever been there? To always be totally cooked, spiritually evolved chunk of divine humanity. You know, just like the mythic ones who lay down a wave field of positive vibes, so profound that anyone coming into contact with the compelling energy of their presence will instantly experience a cosmic state of God intoxication. What hit me? That kind of high, that's what I'm talking about. Of course, being consistently divine turns out to be a truly massive assignment. You may have noticed I dedicated significant chunks of time and energy to a wide variety of spiritual strategies designed to sanctify my humanity and render me holy. I meditated many hours a day for many years. I chanted sacred mantras for hours on end. I exposed my ego to the relentless analysis of a long line of pundits, all claiming to have the keys to the kingdom. I even joined the Enunciate camp for a while to check out the purifying possibilities of fasting and celibacy. Alas, I wound up a hungry, horny celibate. Refining my humanity into an impeccable, consistent expression of holiness was proving to be an elusive goal, to say the least. But I had my moments. There were times when the connections all came together, and I would walk the land, a flawless expression of infinite compassion, agape love, and irrepressible joy. I was holy. So refining my humanity into an impeccably consistent expression of holiness was proving to be an elusive goal, to say the least. But I did have my moments. There were times when the connections all came together and I would walk the land, this flawless expression of infinite compassion, agape love, and irrepressible joy. I was holy. I was divine. I was what my beloved Ram Dass would call essence of good boy. I invite you all to consider climbing to that treasured stance, essence of good boy, essence of good girl. But typically, about the time I was beginning to pat myself on the back for transcending my humanity and embracing holiness as my basic nature, I'd see someone who spoke to my libidinous nature and find myself wondering if she'd like to come up and see my holy pictures. Holy is hard, people. Very hard. But then, along came the grace of a holy remembrance in the form of a conversation with Ram Dass. He wrote about having with a disembodied entity named Emmanuel. How many have been into the Emmanuel material? through the channeling gift of Pat Rodegast. In that sharing, Emmanuel had advised Ram Dass, "You are enrolled in a school. Why don't you take the curriculum?" And he meant the whole flow of form and circumstance that we call our lives. All of it, not just the fun stuff, the pleasant stuff, the high stuff, the holy stuff, but the hard stuff as well. All the stuff we encounter from day to day, including the stuff that's tough to embrace without a lot of resistance and craving that not be there to deal with. And that brings up an option for us that is truly a blessing to recognize and remember whenever we find ourselves stuck in the game of getting high and staying holy. Emmanuel's insight encourages us to consider the possibility that rather than dedicating our spiritual energies to becoming divine, to attempt to transcend our humanity for some kind of otherworldly state of eternal bliss, it seems more likely that we are here to refine the quality of our humanity, to go beyond focusing on getting and staying high, and dedicate our spiritual inquiry to the liberating practice of getting free. And that's a major distinction. From that point of view, Emmanuel's observation on the purpose of our earth experience comes crystal clear. If our purpose for being here is to master the spiritual art of liberating ourselves from all the self-imposed suffering we create with our resistance to certain categories of earth experience, then it's clearly evident that our curriculum for awakening must include dealing with everything that happens to us, not just the fun stuff, but the painful stuff as well. At some point in this journey of awakening, it began to dawn on me that the fact that we took a human birth, you and I, is not some kind of mistake. Has it ever dawned on you that regarding our spiritual evolution, we are in the exact right place at the exact right moment? This is just how it is. It's how it's supposed to be. The unfolding scenario of form and circumstance we call our lives is indeed a curriculum. We are in Life 101. Well, who designed this damn curriculum, you might say? Well, that's an interesting question. I thought you'd never ask. As far as who designed this is concerned, you have a choice. You can identify with the creation and be its victim, or you can identify with the creator. You mean, you might ask, yeah. When you ask who designed your curriculum, the answer is you did. Each and every one of us. But don't hear the you as you, the three-dimensional earth being, with a fractional line of existence that begins with the human birth and ends with the human death. It's not you, Clyde, or you, Sally. No, this life script came right out of cosmic you, soul nature you. While you were hanging out with the oversoul of all souls in another plane of reality and crafting a curriculum which would be the optimum curriculum to provide you with a set of experiences through which you could, if you were ripe to awaken, out of the illusion that you are only a psychosomatic chunk of thinking and feeling humanity out for a brief ride through time and space. Can you handle the proposition that your entire set of experiences is designed to give you a shot at awakening to your oneness with it all, your ultimate reality, your sacred nature, Christ in you, your promise of glory? So if we are going to find freedom through our life experience, not in spite of them, it seems wise for us to make a commitment to hear what it is we are doing here. What is our curriculum? What is my unique function here in this space-time reality play I call my life? Each of us has our own curriculum, which flows out of our psychically individual DNA, our personal karmic stuff. We create it all, every last nickel's worth of form and function that weaves itself together into our lives There are absolutely no errors in this system. That's hard to acknowledge, especially in those moments of extreme duress when the universe seems totally committed to raining on your parade with a deluge of situation and circumstance that appears totally indifferent to every preference you have for what you want your human experience to include and not include. But take heart. Contained within those episodes of absolute despair, you will encounter a cosmic force compelling you to turn your spiritual inquiry up a notch, to reveal how you are managing to turn the Garden of Eden into a rock and a hard place. If you are truly committed to knowing and growing, your pain will always push you into a revelation zone of deeper seeing, a contemplation of life from the very highest point of view. And when you stand up there behind form, right out at the edge of form and the formless, if you just look there for a heartbeat, what you see immediately is an impeccable relationship of creative mutuality. You see that all forms are lawfully related. And if that's a tough proposition to get your mind around, try it from Plato, who said to know God is to know the laws, and to feel the goodness of the laws is to praise God. That's where the rub comes in. It's a real stretch to feel the goodness of the law, the creative principle, when it has coalesced into one of the human experiences that we typically convert into tremendous suffering. Here's the drill. Most folks are simply incapable of seeing the goodness of the law because their minds are drugged by the love of pleasure and the fear of pain. Such a mind, Plato taught, invents gods or denies them, but never sees the law at all. And there's the bottom line. Freedom waits for eyes unclouded by longing. The third Zen patriarch said it so well when he observed that the great way is not difficult for those who have no preferences. There it is. Ground zero, one way of expressing the law that determines whether your earth drama will be mellow or mellow. And there's no mystery regarding the way out of our self-imposed suffering. Jesus said it real simple. Matthew 7:1. Judge not. Let it be. Let it be. It's your life. It's your curriculum. Embrace it all to the best of your ability. Learn its lessons as deep as you can take them. Celebrate when the prize patrol knocks on your door, without forgetting to give thanks when life invites you to the dance and then steps on your toes. Hang in there. Master the new steps that preserve your peace, and then rest easy in the sure and steady knowing that the song hasn't been written that you can't learn to dance to. Peace. God's rules for being wholly human. You will learn lessons. We're all enrolled in a full-time school called Life on Planet Earth. Every person and incident is your teacher. There are no mistakes, only lessons. Failures are simply the stepping stones to success. Success means mastery of contentment as your basic nature. Listen to that again. Success means mastering contentment as your basic nature. A lesson is repeated until it is learned. It's presented in various forms until you learn it. Then you go on to the next lesson. If you don't learn easy lessons, they get harder. Pain is one way the universe gets your attention. You may have noticed. You'll know you've learned a lesson when your actions change. Action confirms that knowledge has matured into choice-defining wisdom. Being there is no better than being here. It is only different. When there becomes here, you'll find another there that again looks better than here. Work it out. Your life is up to you. Life provides the dance floor. You do the dancing. Your answers lie inside you. All you need to do is look, listen, and trust. You'll tend to forget every bit of this. You can remember anytime you choose. Thank you.
When I recognize God's touch, it's enough. It's enough. It's enough. It's enough.